Why is legislative control over administration significant in a democracy? This question takes us back to the birth of the Indian Republic, a time when the seeds of democracy were sown and the essence of legislative control over administration was firmly embedded. In the mid-20th century, India stood at the threshold of a new beginning. It was a time of transformation, a time when the country was shedding the shackles of colonial rule and embarking on a journey towards self-governance. The drafting of the Constitution, the backbone of the Indian Republic, was a monumental task undertaken by the Constituent Assembly. This diverse group of visionaries, led by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, charted the course for India's democratic voyage. The Constitution was more than just a set of laws. It was the embodiment of India's collective aspirations and the blueprint for its administrative structure. The Indian Constitution, enforced in 1950, laid the foundation for a democratic republic where the government would be of the people, by the people, and for the people. At the heart of this democratic setup was the legislative branch, the parliament. The parliament, with its two houses, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, was bestowed with the power to make laws for the country, but its role didn't stop there. The legislative branch was also tasked with shaping the country's administrative structure, ensuring that the administration functioned in the best interest of its citizens. This was the inception of legislative control over administration in the Indian context. This control is not about dominance, but about ensuring accountability and transparency. It's about making sure that the administrative machinery, the engine that keeps the country running, operates in alignment with the democratic principles of the Constitution. So why is legislative control over administration significant in a democracy? It's because this control acts as the rudder that guides the ship of democracy, ensuring that it stays on course even in turbulent waters. The foundation of legislative control over administration was laid with the birth of the Indian Republic. And as we delve deeper into this narrative, we'll see how this foundation has shaped India's democratic journey. How does legislative control manifest in the functioning of a republic? Let's dive into the heart of a republic, the legislative branch. This branch, often referred to as the law-making body, holds the reins of administrative control. Its influence is far-reaching and shapes the administration, which is responsible for implementing the laws and running the day-to-day operations of the country. One of the ways the legislative branch exercises control is through the creation and passing of laws. For instance, the legislative body might draft a law to regulate pollution, effectively setting the standards for environmental control. This law then becomes a guideline for the administration, steering its actions and decisions in the related areas. The legislative branch also holds the power of the purse strings, controlling the nation's budget. It decides where the money goes, reflecting the priorities of the republic. For instance, if education is a priority, the legislative branch may allocate more funds towards schools and universities. This budgetary control is a powerful tool, guiding the administration's activities and shaping its focus. But the legislative branch isn't just about making laws and controlling the budget. It also acts as a watchdog, questioning government actions and ensuring accountability. It scrutinizes the activities of the administration, asking questions, demanding answers, and holding officials accountable for their decisions and actions. This questioning process fosters transparency and acts as a check on the power of the administration. In essence, legislative control is a dynamic, ongoing process. It's not just about laws and budgets, but about guiding, questioning, and holding the administration accountable. Every law passed, every budget allocated, every question asked is a manifestation of legislative control. So, when we talk about legislative control, we're not just talking about a concept or a theory. We're talking about a real, active process that is constantly shaping the administration of a republic. Legislative control is not just a concept, but an active process shaping the administration. What keeps the power of the legislative branch in check? This question leads us to the system of checks and balances, a cornerstone of the Indian Republic. In this system, the three branches of the government, the executive, legislative, and judiciary, each have their unique roles, but they also have the ability to restrict the power of the others. This ensures no single branch becomes too powerful, maintaining a harmonious balance. Let's delve a little deeper into how this works in practice. Consider the legislative branch, which is responsible for making laws. Its power is significant, but it's not unchecked. The executive and judiciary branches can limit the power of the legislative branch in several ways. The executive branch, for example, has the authority to veto legislation. This means that even if a bill passes through both houses of parliament, the president can refuse to sign it into law. Although this veto can be overridden by a two-thirds majority in parliament, the process is not easy. Thus, the executive branch has a significant role in controlling the legislative process. Now let's turn to the judiciary branch. Its role is to interpret the laws and ensure they are constitutional. If the judiciary deems a law to be unconstitutional, it has the power to strike it down, effectively nullifying the legislation. This judicial review is a potent tool for keeping the legislative branch in check. Furthermore, the judiciary also functions as the guardian of the Constitution, ensuring that the legislative and executive branches operate within their constitutional limits. This role further empowers the judiciary to check the legislative branch. So, while the legislative branch has the power to control administration, it is not an absolute power. The executive and judiciary branches act as counterweights, ensuring balance and fairness in the system. Even the power to control administration is not absolute and is checked by other branches. This system of checks and balances is a testament to the wisdom of the architects of the Indian Republic. It's a mechanism that protects the democratic values of the nation and maintains the integrity of its institutions. Are there issues in the current system of legislative control over administration? A question that urges us to delve into the heart of the matter. As we look around, we find that the world of politics and administration is not a static one. It is, in fact, a dynamic arena, constantly evolving and adapting to the times. One of the significant developments in recent years is the increasing role of the executive branch. With the rising complexities of governance and the need for quick decision-making, the executive branch has been gaining more power. This shift can be seen in the increased delegation of legislative powers to the executive, a trend that has raised eyebrows. After all, it's the role of the legislature to make laws, isn't it? However, the increasing role of the executive branch is not without its challenges. The legislature, which is supposed to exercise control over the administration, often finds itself grappling with the fast-paced and intricate world of executive decisions. The challenge here is for the legislature to maintain its control without hampering the efficiency of the executive. The legislature also faces challenges in maintaining transparency and accountability in the administration. The demands of modern governance often require closed-door meetings and secret discussions. While these are necessary for efficient decision-making, they also make it difficult for the legislature to keep a check on the administration's activities. Moreover, the growing influence of lobbying groups and vested interests pose another challenge. These groups often wield substantial influence over the administration, making it difficult for the legislature to exert its control effectively. And let's not forget about the role of technology. As digital governance becomes more prevalent, the legislature must adapt to this new reality. It must find ways to maintain its control in the virtual world, where decisions can be made at the click of a button. The system of legislative control over administration is not without its challenges in today's times. But these challenges also present opportunities for the legislature to evolve and adapt, ensuring that it continues to play its vital role in our democratic system. Why does legislative control over administration matter to us today? Well, the answer lies in the very essence of democracy that we cherish. Legislative control over administration is not just an abstract concept. It's the lifeblood of our democratic society. It's the mechanism that ensures that the government, the administration, remains answerable to the people, to you and I. Imagine a scenario where administration is left unchecked, where there is no oversight on the actions of those in power. We could quickly find ourselves in a situation where the balance of power tips alarmingly towards autocracy, where the rights and liberties we hold dear are at risk. That's where legislative control comes into play. It acts as a check, a balance, ensuring that the administration operates within the confines of the Constitution and the law, safeguarding our democratic values. Moreover, legislative control is about ensuring accountability. It's about making sure that those who are entrusted with the responsibility of governing do so in the best interests of the people. It's about holding them to account, scrutinizing their actions, questioning their decisions, and demanding answers when things go wrong. But beyond accountability, legislative control also plays a crucial role in preserving the rights of the citizens. It is the legislative branch that enacts laws that delineates the rights and responsibilities of the citizens and the state. In doing so, it ensures that the administration doesn't overstep its bounds, that it respects the rights and freedoms of the people it serves. To put it simply, legislative control over administration is the very embodiment of the democratic principle of government of the people, by the people, for the people. It is what ensures that the voice of the people is heard, that their will is respected, that their rights are protected. So, why does legislative control over administration matter to us today? Because it is the bulwark against the misuse of power, the guarantor of our democratic way of life. The power of the legislative branch to control administration is the cornerstone of our democracy.